they are facing, and not because of the platforms we are giving them. Our amazing success on the field is too often balanced by the dysfunction we continue to face off the field. Ours is a system that too often still excludes the majority of people in this country, from school age right through their adult lives. We are realizing perhaps just 5% of our potential as a country, and still we are winning at just about everything we turn our hands and hearts to. Sipho in Kalicha can't play hockey because the price of a hockey stick comes at the cost of a week's food for his family. There are many Siphos in South Africa, and we face similar challenges in the music industry. We have many successful people who have received training in acting, music and singing, but many more who've had to make it by relying on raw talent. They are the exceptions. Imagine if more of us had a chance to hone these great talents and be guided in expressing them. We've heard from many people over the past year, we've truly heard from many people who have been resistant to the changes being brought in this department. They want to see familiar decisions and behavior. But how can we rely on the old way of doing things if the old ways have not solved the problems of the past 3 decades? Change is difficult, but it is necessary. Otherwise, Sipho and the other Siphos and Shashas will never play hockey one day for a gold medal at the Olympics. That's why this budget signifies us trying to start doing things differently. These changes will keep coming as we continue to adapt and change how we spend and support our plans to make sport, the arts and culture accessible to all Siphos, Salins, Salmans and Siamtandas. Today I want to bring honor to our cricket players, netball heroines, the Springboks, our Olympic squad, the sprinters and runners, our boxing champions, our swimmers, and so many more. Of all the people I've met over the past year, I would like to tell you a story of a group of young, bulky Afrikaners that came to see me last year to help popularize the sport. I knew very little about their sport, which is called strongman. I approached many sponsors on their behalf. I worked the phones. Most people were not interested, except Supersport and Betway. A year after, the majority of companies did not give a positive response. Most of them were calling me back, asking me to be introduced to the world's strongest man, Rain O'Neill. If you had told me that this rookie would be crowned the strongest man in the world, not even a year after that knock on my door, you could have knocked me over with a feather. This is a simple example of how, with support, we can defeat the world's best at about anything as South Africans. Nothing illustrates that South Africa has unmined gold waiting in our townships, Cape Flats and Kleindorpies like this story. I see my term as a minister as a continuation of my previous job of being a miner looking for human gold. Access and opportunity matter. Even the greatest of talent need that opportunity. This is why, to invest in all our talent, both in sport and in the arts and culture, as well as preserving our heritage, the department has a budget of 6.3 billion over the 25-26 financial year. Under Program 2, Recreation, Development and Sport Promotion, we are allocating 1.2 billion. To keep supporting sport in our country, we'll be allocating 98.5 million towards federation sport and federation support. One of the biggest changes coming for our federations will be the provision of an office building for them to share. As many have been running their sports out of the boots of their cars, they have been trying to save sports under the most trying circumstances. We will be professionalizing the approach and allowing different sports to benefit from the concept of shared services. We are also finalizing the process of funding video assistant refereeing, VAR, to ensure that football matches from the Premier Soccer League through the international fixtures we host are fairer and meet global standards. It is a necessity. We see stadiums being vandalized when bad refereeing happens, which is quite often. And the success of teams like Mamelodi Sundowns make global teams want to play in South Africa. But they get second thoughts when they hear we don't have VAR. Since we last stood here and shared our vision for Team South Africa at the LA Games in 2028, the draft document on Project 350 has been developed. Late last year, we traveled to the Olympic House in Switzerland to register our interest in hosting a Summer Olympic Games in South Africa in 2036. We've already engaged the cabinet clusters, and South Africa is well positioned to become the first African country to host an Olympics in nearly a century and a half. We count on the support of all South Africans to make it happen. Many laughed when I uttered the words Formula One, that Formula One must come back to South Africa. But I want to bring honor to one man in particular who didn't laugh. His name is Toby Venter, the owner of the Kalami racetrack. When I told him that government doesn't have the money to host Formula One because of more urgent priorities, this South African, Toby Venter, said he's in a position to help make his track and uplift it to F1 standards. He looked me in the eye and he said he would see it as his patriotic duty to do that. That was a year ago. I stand here today to tell you that the FIA, the FIFA of motorsport, has given the green light for the upgrading of the track. We've had multiple meetings with the management of F1, with a crucial one happening in the next 2 weeks. To those who say the country can't afford to host the F1, I'm saying the country can't afford not to host the F1. When you set the bar high for a country, as we have done in the past, you can't afford to take the bar back down. We hosted the best FIFA World Cup. We put our country on the map for big events and should not turn back now. What will be different this time, though, is that government will not be expected to pay. Companies like MTN, MultiChoice, Heineken, and many more have raised their hands and said, here we are, tomorrow now. They will be present with us in the meeting with Formula One at the end of the month. We've even had patriots who've told us, whenever you need help, come to us. One of them being the richest man in the country, Johan Rupert. Those who are saying Formula One is not important should consider the countries who are holding on to the F1 spots on the calendar. They see the value in it, and it can't be called the World Championship if it misses an entire continent, sub-Saharan Africa in particular. While on the topic of motorsport, I want to thank everyone who has joined us in our mission to grow the sport of spinning. I want to thank Red Bull and Celsi in particular. People were laughing when we said we're going to make spinning big. But already this sport has left the townships. And now Sam is wowing the likes of Max Verstappen with his skills in Austria. We are keenly exploring the potential of bringing a live golf event to South Africa as early as next year, especially given the platform that this exciting new tournament also gives to performing artists on world-class stages after the golf clubs have been put back in their bags at the end of every day's play. As part of investing and cultivating our domestic talent during the 2025-26 financial year, the department has allocated a total of more than 627 million through the conditional grant to support, amongst many things, equipment and attire for schools, clubs, hubs, the training of people through coaching, technical officiating, administration courses and employment. Thousands of schools participate in the school sports program and the National School Sports Championship, while hundreds of community leagues are supported through grant funding. You cannot be competitive at Olympics and elsewhere if school sport is not working. I want to thank FNB, who are about to put major investment into school sport for boosting league competition. Under Program 4, Heritage Program and Preservation, we have allocated 2.7 billion, which include an amount of 1.6 billion for the building, maintenance, upgrading, and operationalization of our much valued libraries. Following the success of our inaugural program to return the remains of South African fallen heroes from Zimbabwe and Zambia last year, we shall continue to repatriate the human remains of freedom fighters who fell outside the country during the struggle. Our heroes who fought for us back, Duma Nokwe, Bezel February, Tot Matikita, and Me Florence Muposho, have been brought home. I'm told there could still be 5,000 bodies that need to be returned, and we shall not rest until they are home. Heading into the current financial year, our technical team is expanding the focus to Angola, Lesotho, while work continues in Zambia and Zimbabwe. We shall soon conclude the reburial of 50 ancestral remains from the Northern Cape, guided by the Northern Cape Reburial Task Team, which represent the Nama, the Griqua, the Korana, and the San communities. Last month, under the team Reimagining South African Heritage for a New Era, we started the important process of seeing our museums entering the digital age, becoming relevant to a new curious generation of increasing visitors. One of the first projects we are focusing on is Robben Island, which is undergoing a major revamp and facelift as I'm speaking. We are fixing the transport challenges of Robben Island. We will recognize every former prisoner. There will be heritage statues and wall of names, along with a wealth of new facilities and activities. We are proud to have established 17 CCI sector cluster organizations whose formation was necessitated by persistent structural and systemic challenges facing the creative sector. This was extensively discussed. Under Program 3, Arts and Culture Promotion and Development, we are allocating 1.7 billion. Among the key challenges being addressed are the fragmentation and lack of coordination. What I want to say is that artists has been dying poor for 30 years and more. We can't be doing the same things over and over again. We are getting the foundation right. This will be supported by a budget of operationalization of 34 million. We understand the frustration of our creatives. Getting our creative cluster going again is #1 priority for us. The MGE open call has been completed and 152 successful applicants have received their grant letters. We need to move quickly and submit compliance. The department has received 350 million from the Presidential Employment Stimulus Program. The NFVF in particular will have to do things very differently. We will support the San and the Khoi languages. We've set aside 2 million for that. Through these priorities, South Africa stands to benefit by attracting international investment and partnerships. Before I finish, I must answer the $1 million question I keep being asked. Are we going to financially compensate the people who have been winning at everything? The answer is unfortunately no. But if we give our many stars those bonuses, they will bankrupt the state with the way that they are just winning at everything. We are proposing here was that the House adopts this budget. We thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. The next speaker is the Honourable Makgato.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Greetings to the Minister, the Deputy Minister, all honourable members, the DG, Dr. Kumalo and the team. We as the ANC, we rise today to speak in support of Vote 37 of the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, particularly highlighting how this budget allocation embodies and commitment to positioning the sports, recreation, arts and culture and heritage sector as commencement of the South African economic transformation and job creation agenda. The arts and culture promotion and development programs, significant allocation of 1.7 billion over the medium term demonstrate our governance, a profound recognition of arts and culture sector as the key economic driver. This allocation is not merely financial support. It represents the strategic commitment to promoting creative industrial components of our creative industries have proven that economic value, contributing approximately 3% of South African social economic production. This sector has consistently demonstrated its capacity to generate employment with 900 jobs, 900 jobs of the workforce employed in creative industries and of 2019. These figures underscore why substantial investment in the program is both justified and necessary for sustainable economic growth. The Mckenzie Golden Economy, strategically with the dedication budget allocation of 223.9 million in 2025 and 2026, represents our vision of positioning arts, culture, and heritage as the new group and as the new gold, with immense potential to increase economic growth and create jobs. This initiative directly aligns with the SONA's commitment in economic transformation and job creation through innovation sectors. The Mckenzie Golden Economy focus on a large-scale flagship cultural events and community-based projects, creates a multiple effects throughout the economy. For every 1 million spent on cultural and natural heritage production and services, our economy receives about the 1.85 million through direct and indirect output impacts. The demonstration, the powerful economic leverage that strategic investment is in culture provides. Then, Chairperson, the presidential empowerment stimulates a program allocation of 347 million for 2025-2026, specifically targeting the National Film and Video Foundation and the National Arts Council. Exemplifies the immediate response to unemployment challenges. These programs create direct employment opportunities in the creative and cultural sectors, while building the foundation of sustainable career path in these industries. These investments are reflective of the significance of investing the skills development and capacity building that will have lasting input in our creative economy. The program as focus are film and in sectors recognizes this industry's particular potential for rapid job creation and skills transfer. The allocation to National Language Services and the Pan-South African Language Board reflects the commitment to presenting linguistic diversity and also cultural heritage. The presentation and development of language, not merely a cultural imperative, it is an economic opportunity that creates employment for linguistic translations, cultural practitioners, and also heritage specialists. Honorable Chairperson, the South African Language Board work in promoting multilingual contributors to our national competitiveness in an increasingly globalized world, while budget provided significant support to the performing art institutions with entities such as Artscape with 80.1 million, receiving again Market Theatre Foundation with 55.2 million, and again the South African State Theatre with 80.1 million, receiving substitute funding over the medium term. These allocations demonstrate the commitment to promoting artistic expression and cultural development and foundational of our democracy. These institutions serve as incubators for talent, platform for social commentary, and spaces for community engagement. The market, can I get water to drink? Cheers. Sorry, Chairperson. This institution serve as an incubators for a talent platform for social commentary and spaces for community engagement. The Market Theatre Foundation alone increased its audience number from 36,000 in 2022-2023.
Honourable Member, your time is now expired. Thank you. The next speaker is the Honourable Mchunu.
Sihlalo ohloniphekile namalunga eParliamente bahlali bonke base South Africa. Namuhla ngisukuma nokukhulu ubuhlungu nokudumala enhlizweni yami ngalesi sabelo mali. Mhlambe ngisayiqala nje lenkulumo yami ngifisa ukuveza ngokusobala ukuthi umkhonto wesizwe party uyaphikisana nalesi sabelo mali. In other words, we reject budget vote 37. Lesi sabelo mali asinabo ubulungiswa kubantu base South Africa futhi asihlangabezani and asikhulumi lutho ngezidingo zezinkumbi zabantu bakithi abahluphekayo nabangathathi lutho entweni. Le budget kahle kahle ayilethi izinguquko kumkhakha wezemidlalo, ubuciko namasiko. Sports, arts and culture is the soul and cornerstone of the nation. Yet, honorable members, that soul is bleeding. The Access report of 25 April 2025 confirms what we already know. The department incurred irregular expenditure of 1.3 billion in 2024-25 alone, due to non-compliance with procurement laws and payments to service providers who did not deliver the promised services. Over 92 million in the National Arts Council and National Film and Video Foundation was spent on projects without proper verification of impact or delivery. The department continues to roll over funds year after year, unable to spend what is allocated. This is not a shortage of money. This is a shortage of proper planning, integrity, and political will. The department's own APP report exposed brutal truths. Kukhona ukubandlulula okuhleliwe la kwingqalasizinda yezemidlalo namaciko. Izinsiza zigxile kakhulu eindaweni zalaba abadla izambane likapondo. Ezindaweni zasemakhaya naseykoleni akwakhiwa lutho. Awekho ama swimming pools, hockey fields, tennis courts, netball fields, and no art centers. Ihlazo ezikoleni olibonayo izingane zigcina zivula ama ground ebhola ezikhoteni zibeke induku ngapha nangapha zakhe ipali kodwa kontaba kayikhonjwa ujiki khona nekhona banazo zonke lezi zinto zichaphakile nje eindaweni zabo. Emakhaya bahlangana ngaphansi kwezihlahla belolonga amathalente abo becula besina baze basike namathini nezigubhu bakhe iziginci namadrums noma bezama kangaka bayavalelwa amathuba okuveza abakwenzayo ukuze nabo bathole uxhaso baxoshe nekati eziko kwaze kwayihlazo ke lokhu leli ukuthi amaciko akithi noma libonakala ithalente kodwa bacindezelwe akekho onendaba. Imiphakathi yathenjiswa ama-art centers lawa ama-art centers akhiwa iningi lawo ashiwa phakathi kwangaqedwa kwakhiwa kuphela nje kwadliwa imali. Northwest kune multipurpose center enkulu akade yakhiwa yashiwa ingaphelile le ndawo siyaphenduka indawo yokuzikhulula kweinkomo nezimbuzi kunokuba le ndawo isiza umphakathi neyouth esithola idla idakamizwa ngoba akukho okubaqoquzelayo okuyimidlalo le ndawo isivele yaba umhume wabaphangi inkundla yezigebengu. Ngikhuluma ngenkohlakalo engayixoxelwanga but ngayibonela ngalawa wamamehlo iportfolio committee hambele le ndawo akuyona yodwa le ndawo eshiwe Dengwane kodwa ziningi eKZN kune Jumbo Art Center ePietermaritzburg phela indaba yayo ibolile ama-artist amaningi abesebenzisa yona seyaba nje into engaziwa akukho manzi akukho gesi kuguge yonke into akufakwa imali ukuthi kulungiswe ngoba vele iseyindaweni zabantu abantulayo abangenalutho uhulumeni ongenandaba nabantu abaswele uhulumeni uthule nje kuntshontshwe imali ngapha nangapha yabahluphekayo yabakhokhi bentela. The much touted Mzansi golden economy is failing grassroots artists. Instead of building district level hubs for creativity, funds have gone to ceremonies, big works events and VIP catering. Lo mnyango waka sports arts and culture uhlezi uhluleka ukufeza izithembiso zawo wathembisa ukuvula amathuba emsebenzi through the creative sector stimulus. However, the APP indicates that this indicator was entirely missing from the initial plans and was only added to the final APP after it was highlighted by the Auditor General of South Africa. Infrastructure targets are repeatedly postponed. Projects such as the rollout of national school sports facilities remain incomplete, leaving students without safe places to train or play. Okukazi kwakhala nyonini kulo hulumeni osube khona iminyaka engaphezulu kwamashumi amathathu but ayikho intuthuko ebonakalayo kwimiphakathi ehlwempu. Kusafana nje nokuthi sisaphila kuhulumeni wobandlululo. Angiyiphathi ke eyibonelelo kanye nezinhlelo. Isabelo mali sincane kakhulu. The total DSEC budget for 2025-26 is 5.2 billion, a mere 0.2% of total consolidated government expenditure. The National Arts Council funding remains around 117 million. Okuyimali enganele ukuthi ngabhekana nezidingo zamaciko nalabo abasafufusa. Honorable Chairperson, the National Development Plan envisioned a nation where sports and culture unite communities, promote social cohesion and create jobs. But the reality is clear. The department contributes almost nothing to job creation targets of the Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan. Youth unemployment stands at over 60.8%, yet the creative sector has been left underfunded and fragmented. Umnyango usitshela ukuthi ufaka isandla kuhlelo lokubuyiswa komnotho kodwa sibona imali efakwa incane kakhulu. Uzobuya kanjani kanti lo mnotho uma ubuqopholo budla lubi kanje? At this pace, we will not meet the NDP goals even by 2050. Uma ngingabala nje okunye okuyimbiko ehlasimulisa umzimba, the KwaZulu-Natal Museum lost 10.9 million in planned upgrades redirected due to procurement failures. The department's own audit revealed over 23 million allocated for cultural events disappeared into administrations with no traceable outcomes. Kuneyimali nje inyamalalayo emehlweni sibhekile zingaziwa. Honorable Chairperson, as Utata Nelson Mandela once said, a nation should not judge by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. Kodwa namuhla abaculi, imbongi, abadansi, abasubathi, and youth in rural and township communities are still the lowest ones in the government priorities. Abaziwa nokuthi bawobani ezweni sakhile babukelwa phansi. Lesi sabelo mali sikhase kakhulu impilo yobukhazikhazi, but abantu bakithi bayafa indlala, balambile benawo ama-talent abangayiphilisa ngawo, kodwa uhulumeni ubanyathele ngeenyawo. Uhulumeni ugijima nemicimbi esezingeni eliphezulu yomntakabani. Umkhonto wesizwe phansi ufuna ukubona abantu bonke bephila ngokulingana, yonke imiphakathi ehlwempu iphumelela. Lesi sabelo asisizi umuntu, asilethi noluncane uguquko, but kuntshontshwa imali kuxhashazwa abantu abangenalutho. Ma-South Africans amahle, umkhonto wesizwe ugalelekile, yonke le nkohlakalo esiyibonayo siyibeka obala. Iphoyisa elikhulu umkhwanazi uyeza uzonibamba one by one, nizoyithetha inyani. For these reasons, the AMK party cannot support budget vote 37. Amandla!
Order, honorable members. The next speaker is the Honorable Magloa.
Thank you, House Chairperson. Honorable members, the late Nelson Mandela once said, and I quote, "Sport can create hope where there were once only despair. It is more powerful than government in breaking down racial barriers. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination," unquote. Minister Mckenzie, I want to talk to you about the plight and aspirations of hundreds and thousands of athletes and artists who dedicate their lives to their craft. I want to talk to you about the allocation of resources, their needs, and whether athletes receive the support they deserve to excel in their respective fields. Having served on this portfolio committee in 2010, I commend the current committee for bringing a fresh perspective and a dynamic approach to this domain. They've injected a much-needed vibrancy, holding entities accountable for every cent spent. It is high time that this department must wake up and smell the coffee. Minister, I want to talk to you what's really going on beneath the surface of a 6.31 billion rand. The performance of indicator related to sport reports on heritage facilities has been omitted from the 2025-2026 annual performance plan. The Artists in Schools program, which target youth, and it is referenced in the 2025-26 annual performance plan, has been halted despite being clearly outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding between the department as well as the Department of Basic Education. What is even more concerning is that the budget allocated for sub-program 1 is facing a decrease of 28.7 million rand, despite the minister's directive on program 350 pertaining to the Olympics. Leadership instability has become a persistent issue, with acting appointments is now a norm in the department. This continual reliance on temporary roles undermines the organizational instability and hampers overall effectiveness in the department. It appears that governance is not a priority, as the department's annual performance plan no longer includes an indicator that addresses the governance of public entities that report to it. The performance indicator related to reports on heritage facility has been omitted from the 2025-2026 annual performance plan. This contradicts the minister's stated commitment to supporting programs, athletes, and heritage facilities. We need to scrutinize these decisions and ensure that athletes and cultural institutions receive the support they deserve. Minister, I want to draw your attention to the pattern of misconduct within the department. In 2017, a former minister of sport took a trip to Dubai and was paid for by a company linked to Saskok. An arrangement that raises serious questions about conflict of interest and ethical governance. Another of your predecessors approved an annual payment of approximately 1 million since 2016 to a so-called cricket school, which is not even recognized by any official sports federations. The only link we could find that was an allegation of his son attended the school. These examples illustrate a worrying history of questionable decisions and blurred lines between public duty and private interests. It is in this context that I urge you to take decisive action and to restore dignity and integrity and transparency and also accountability in this sector. Minister, I want to talk to you about serious allegations of nepotism, favoritism, and potentially bought and tender flawed processes involving individuals who are members of your party. Names such as Eugene Botha, Dr. Ralph Links, Bishop Blennies, Bernardo Maralak, Jonas White, Houston Francis, and Liesl Pennicking, among others. We fought against these things in the past, and we should ensure that the sector does not get captured. Minister, I want to talk to you about soccer. Yes, soccer, and not about LeJohn Soccer Club or the now defunct Royal AM Football Club. I want to talk to you about SAFA's financial crisis, mismanagement, and millions that has gone just wrong. Despite bailouts, their inability to cover basic expenses like salaries, food, and transport. Minister, I want to talk to you about netball, boxing, as well as Athletics South Africa. Netball South Africa received 90 million rand in a public funding to the Netball World Cup. Yet, more than 2 years later, the committee did not have any way to interrogate their reports. The delay is concerning given the president of Netball is currently under investigation for financial misconduct. Allegations, Athletics South Africa crisis ranges from deregistration saga, police presence at the elections, misusing of athletes' funds in shebeens, hotels, and clothing shops. The DA is concerned, Minister, about the department's oversight and management of issues such as Sarah Bartman, the project that came to a standstill. No tombstone yet, no restoration to date, no visitors allowed, only a gate that has been locked for more than a year as established during my visit in Henke on Sunday. Minister, given the department's decision to halt funding for flagship events that contribute to the economy, it is shocking that just 3 working days before the end of the 2024-2025 financial year, the department, through a letter, committed a 5 million rand in partial funding to the Belito July Experience Project through the Ilembe Economic Development Agency. Where is the Department of Tourism then? The reason was to attract sustained tourism. This raises questions about the department's priorities and the policy framework guiding such decisions. And also, when being contacted by the media, it was the department who refrained from giving a comment. Minister, the time for rhetoric has passed. The sector needs principled leadership that restores our dignity, that delivers impact, and puts South Africa's artists and its athletes first. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Mtetwa.
Greetings to
Order,
the
honourable
President
members.
and Commander-in-Chief of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Commissars, fighters, and fellow South Africans. Allow me to begin by extending a revolutionary invitation to the people of South Africa to join us in celebrating the 12th anniversary of the EFF on the 26th July 2025 at Khayelitsha Rugby Stadium. House Chair, the EFF rejects the proposed budget. This budget fails to reflect the critical and specific needs of a sector that remains deeply untransformed, but controlled by foreign multinationals, the white monopoly capital, and disconnected from the daily lived realities of the dejected masses to be marginalized and excluded from the mainstream economy opportunities within this sector. Sport in South Africa continues to mirror the broad structural inequalities of our society, including entrenched economic imbalances and patriarchal norms. Sports sponsorship in South Africa remains racially biased, with black athletes often overlooked, underfunded, unsupported, and excluded even by the Mzansi golden economy. Where is transformation charter in rugby, cricket, golf, and tennis? There is a glaring absence of black head and assistant coaches in top tier competitions like Super Rugby and Currie Cup? And what has the minister done to address this entrenched inequality? Absolutely nothing. These are damning indictments of a system that privileges whiteness while consigning black artists, actors, and athletes to precarity, neglect, and even erasure in death. This a shameless betrayal of transformation, where the minister facilitates a lucrative 50 million deal for his own biological son to acquire Supersports United. Yet when it comes to national soccer development, he unlawfully approves a mere 5 million, not 50 million, a mere 5 million advance for SAFA salaries, an amount diverted from funds intended to expand women participation in soccer. Yet Banyana, the pride of this nation, continues to play under exploitative conditions. No parity, no professionalism, and no bonuses. Their success stems not from the department's support, but from their own sacrifice. This is not patriotism, Minister, it is hypocrisy. Minister, government is not a prison cell block or some underground syndicate run through family proxies. Despite the minister's demagogic and populist rhetoric of putting South Africans first, he remains intentionally blind to the ongoing postmodern cultural colonization, whereby American and European artists, actors, and producers are afforded preferential treatment over South African talent. These international figures are paid exorbitant fees, while local artists, actors, and film producers are systematically marginalized, denied opportunities, recognition, and relevance in their own country, Minister. Today, House Chair, we are being asked to endorse a budget with no clear industrialization strategy for performing arts, and no cultural economy policy that recognizes creatives as professionals instead of perpetual hustlers. Hidden in his budget is a 32 million for 16 so-called creative and cultural sector clusters boards with no legal mandate, no framework, no accountability to Parliament. In response to the ill-conceived cluster boards and the continued dysfunction of unaccountable entities such as SIFSA, SAMIC, and Downtown Music Hub, whose very leaders now sit in the minister's newly formed structures, the EFF will introduce a private members' bill titled the South African Confederation for Creative and Cultural Industry, in short, SACI Bill. A legitimate, transparent, and accountable structure that will govern the sector, protect creative practitioners, ensure the equitable distribution of public resources, and further serve as a regulator and an industry ombudsman, fully accountable to Parliament, empowered to bring order, transparency, and justice to the creative and cultural sector. Minister, we cannot claim true freedom while Iziko and other museums across South Africa continue to imprison the stolen sacred human remains of over 1,000 African ancestors victims of a discredited pseudo-scientific racial project. We therefore demand that they are immediately repatriated to the rightful communities. Why do we still have colonial symbols, Minister, in our public spaces, despite Cabinet having taken a clear decision to have them removed? Minister, all colonial symbols must fall. House Chair, EFF rejects this budget.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Lutuli.
Anginankinga. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The Department of Sport, Art and Culture has a unique power to unify our people, healing division and nurture both national identity and the economic opportunities. However, we acknowledge the role of the department, of this department, in shaping social cohesion and driving job creation within the creative and sports economies.
we must express our disappointment at the chronic underfunding and the administrative neglect of this vital sector. The budget as it stands reflects the disconnect between the expectation and the reality. Honorable members, year after year, the arts and heritage workers, athletic and cultural institutions raise the same outcry: delayed funding, limited access to the resources, and bureaucratic red tapes that struggled innovation and potential. Communities rich in heritage and talent, particularly in the rural areas and township, remaining excluded from the meaningful participation due to poor infrastructure, lack of support, and uneven distribution of the opportunities. We must ask how can we expect social cohesion when we symbol and platform and opportunities that validate and express our diverse cultural remaining marginalized. Honorable Chair, we acknowledge some positive developments, such as the establishment of the partnerships to boost the creative industry, the intention to revive sport at school and communities level, and effort to digitize and achieve South Africans' intangible heritage. But intent alone will not preserve language, employment, arts, or create opportunities for youth in KZN and the other underserved provinces. The department must move from word to action, from the policy framework to the grassroots delivery. Honorable Chairperson, if sport and art and culture are to remain the soul of our nation, then they must be treated as more than a budget line. They are a source of the pride, power, and potential. The IFP supports the budget. I think.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Daniels.
Honourable House Chairperson, Honourable Minister Mckenzie, Honourable Deputy Minister Mabe, fellow Honourable Members of Parliament and fellow South Africans. It's such a great honour to stand here today when we are debating Vote 37 of Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. And I want to start where I thought I was going to end and say that as a Patriotic Alliance, we support Budget Vote 37, recognizing the department's efforts in driving social transformation, economic inclusion. We appreciate the fact that this budget has come before us, and even more so because I hear people talk about what happened in the other financial year. This GNU only came into existence when it had to inherit a budget. I think it is only fair and just to afford the GNU who's working an opportunity to be judged from a clean slate onwards until the end of this financial year, because it's very difficult to inherit a budget and expect to perform miracles. You see, those who are rejecting the budget, there is nothing different than looking at you with an opinion that you are busy with the greatest element of injustice to South Africans. You are robbing our youth who are looking for hope. And as sports, the only thing that unites our country, I don't think it is right to reject a budget, the first budget from scratch for this working GNU. I want to touch on what the minister said when he spoke about second chances. I have one question for you, Honorable Minister. We believe in second chances, but how is it then that patriots are afforded second chances when first option is given to foreign nationals to work in the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, when it's not a scarce skill? Such an example is Robben Island, where we have foreign nationals working. How can that be? Under your watch, Honorable Minister. So, you know, I just want to briefly also touch on what I've witnessed this weekend. School squad who partook in netball in Cape Town. They complained by me because I approached them when I saw the kit that they were wearing. They said, this kit that we are wearing, it was on Saturday. We've been wearing since last week and Sunday. We only got one item to wear the whole week. So I'm appealing to the minister to zoom into this and find out, because that money came from provincial government that supplied them those kits. So I need this government to please look into those things so that those things don't happen again. I want to draw attention also, you know, I've seen on Saturday, on a flight to Nelson Mandela Bay, that plane was green. The patriots wear green and gold when it comes to supporting our country. And we need this budget to ensure that more people are afforded an opportunity to wear green and gold. But by rejecting it, we are not going to attain that goal. The Patriotic Alliance congratulate the Minister Mckenzie and the Department for the exemplary work in advancing
Honourable
sport
Member,
as a
your
tool.
time has now expired.
I have registered my point. Thank you, Honourable House
Thank you, Honourable
Chair.
Member.
Thank you so
Order,
much.
Honourable Members. The next speaker is the Honourable Denner. Order, Honourable Members. Please continue, Honourable Denner.
Voorsitter, daar is niks wat 'n land se mense, veral ons land se mense, so by mekaar kan bring soos sport nie. En daar is niks wat 'n land se mense, veral ons land se mense, so kan verdeel, soos ons eie tale en kulture wat in die hande van politieke opportuniste as 'n stok gebruik word om sekeres mee te slaan vir politieke punte nie. En ek praat nie van u nie, minister. Ek verwys na jou talle voorgangers wat die mandaat en die mag van hierdie departement misbruik het om te kwes, te vervreem, te verdeel en te verinneweer dit wat kosbaar is en gerespekteer behoort te word, soos ons taal, ons kultuur, ons diversiteit, ons erfenis en eintlik ons menswees. Jy moet mooi luister veral. Daarom het u nie 'n maklike taak nie, minister, want die mandaat van hierdie departement is om te verenig en te herbou, te koester en te bevorder ieder en elke taal en kultuur en erfenis van ieder en elke Suid-Afrikaners, ons en ook. We welcome key strategic interventions such as the promotion and protection of South Africa's diverse languages and cultures. Ons 12 amptelike landstale is skandelik afgeskeep as gevolg van 'n gebrek aan politieke wil en daadwerklike optrede om hierdie tale te beskerm en uit te bou. Ironies genoeg ten gunste van die koloniale taal, Engels. Veral Afrikaans loop gereeld deur as die taal van die sogenaamde wit onderdrukker, terwyl verreweg die meeste Afrikaans sprekendes nie wit is nie, soos die agbare polse. In plaas daarvan dat ander tale se hoër funksies soos die van Afrikaans tot akademiese en wetenskaplike tale ontwikkel word, word Afrikaans eerder afgetrek en vertrap. Klink dit soos die werk van 'n departement wat werklik tot taaldiversiteit verbind is? Ons verwag verandering en verbetering met betrekking tot hierdie aspek. Ons erfenis is 'n groot deel van wie ons is. Ons erfenis is nie anders 'n vooropgestelde idees van wie ons is nie, maar eerder dit wat ons en Suid-Afrika uniek maak in ons diversiteit. Daarom is dit ons opregte hoop dat Natem Tetwa se absurde plan vir sogenaamde parke vir skande standbeelde finaal nek omgedraai is. Die geskiedenis is die geskiedenis, goed en sleg. Ons erfenis is ons geleefde ervarings. Ons kan dit nie uitwis of in 'n donker hoekie iewers wegberre nie. Rig eerder nog standbeelde op, brei die stories uit, skets die volle prentjie. Daarom verwelkom ons ook eerder die departement se beplande speelparke en gedeelde areas in plaas van verdeling en vervreemding. Naamsveranderinge. Voorsitter, daar is partye in hierdie einste parlement wat onlangs nog versoeke gerig het vir dorpsnaamveranderinge. Daardie einste partye kla dan oor 'n gebrek aan hulpbronne en befondsing wat dienslewering en hulpverlening aan die armste van die armes belemmer. Tog wil daardie partye hê dat dorpe se name moet verander en miljoene daarop bestee moet word. Mens kan nie 'n dorp se naam eet of vir jou kinders voer nie. Jy kan dit nie soos 'n kombers oor jou kinders trek om hulle warm te hou nie. Dit gaan nie vir jou werk of welstand skep nie. Daardie partye se prioriteite is verkeerd. En 'n departement wat verkeerde prioriteite nastreef deur ag te slaan op sulke versoeke, laat die mense van Suid-Afrika in die steek. Ek sluit af waar ek begin het. Sport het die vermoë om 'n nasie soos ons in wat diep verdeel is te verenig. En ek weet die minister weet dit want ek sien hom elke naweek by die rugby. Agterstande moet uitgewis word, maar ons sal nooit benadeling regstel deur te benadeel nie. Sportontwikkeling moet van grondslagfase, grassroots level af, geprioritiseer word. Kinders van veral arm landelike gemeenskappe moet toegang hê tot kwaliteit fasiliteite en afrigting, sodat hulle talente van kleins af ontwikkel kan word. Dis daar waar die human gold lê, minister. Die regering van die laaste 30 jaar het arm landelike kinders in die steek gelaat deur nie fasiliteite op te rig nie, maar eerder die geld daarvoor te steel. Ons kan nie dit regstel deur rassekwotas en kosmetiese transformasie nie. Nee, voorsitter, ons kan nie gelyke uitkomste nastreef nie. Ons moet gelyke geleenthede
Member, your
daarstel.
time is now expired. The next speaker is the Honorable Letlape.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Minister and the Department, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that Banyana Banyana has proceeded to the knockout phase. And I'd also like to acknowledge
Order, honorable members.
our young Boke.
Honorable
for their
Letlape,
achievements.
Honorable Letlape, can you just take a seat? Honorable members, although we do allow interjections, we do not allow running commentary. Honorable Paulson, because it is disruptive, and also we do not refer to the way other members dress themselves. It's a personal, I'm talking to you. Are you challenging me? No, honorable member, you behave yourself, otherwise you leave. Please continue, Honorable Letlape.
Thank you, Chair. I just want you to understand, Minister, that you probably run one of the most important portfolios in this country in terms of healing this nation. We have youth that are swimming in drugs. We have children without opportunities. We always celebrate when a national team wins. When they lose, nobody's there. We talk about social cohesion when we get drunk together because the Boke have won. But that's the wrong focus of what sport can do. Sport can do wonders if well supported in our schools. That's where the social cohesion can begin. When you look at Africa, we have sports stars that come back to save their countries. We have George Weah, who became the president of Liberia. We have the Cameroonian star who comes to support where government should have supported. We have a schooling system that creates educated people that are not employable. You can never have a supreme athlete that is unemployable. But it is not just about the supreme. Even the ones who never win anything, even the ones who never represent any nation, if it is organized in such a manner that they can participate, that's where they can learn discipline. That's where they can learn dedication. That's what will keep them off the streets. So, Minister, what I wish for you is that you take over sports in our schools. Don't leave it to educators, because they know very little about that. There are no coaches in our schools. There are no fields in our schools. Our children roam the streets after school, and that's how they get into drugs. That's how they get abused. So I want you to understand that the mandate that you have is a big mandate. When Banyana went to the current competition that they are in, there were challenges about equality. There were challenges about their salaries. Culture resides with you. So the notion of gender equality, you have a big role to play. And you can demonstrate by ensuring that those young women are treated just as well as Bafana is treated. It is your responsibility. People need to understand that without sponsorship, you can't develop sports. But your responsibility is to ensure that we have sound sponsorship. We don't have sponsorship that promotes gambling. We don't have sponsorship that promotes alcohol. So when we have all these houses that seem to be the ones supporting sport, we need to ensure that their products are not promoted, that they are not using sports sponsorship as a marketing tool. They are using it as a resource to restore our nation. You are underfunded, Minister. But we are not going to say because you are underfunded, we will not support this budget. We as Action SA support this budget. But we say it is your job to clean that department out. It is your job to ensure that if there are sports structures that are being developed, they are developed in time. VAR should be here today so that we could have international standards to meet. I encourage you to continue looking for sponsorship so that we can be a venue for many sports, including Formula One. We support you, but we want ethical.
Honourable Member, your
standards
time is expired.
I thank you.
I now recognize the Honourable Deputy Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture. The Honourable Deputy Minister.
Honorable House Chairperson, Minister, honorable members, good morning. The allocation of 6.31 billion for the year 2025-2026 is aimed at expediting service delivery through strategic interventions to create job opportunities and to contribute to the economic growth. The Recreation Development and Sports Promotion Program receives 4.1 billion of the department's budget over the medium term. This allocation demonstrates our commitment to enhancing mass participation, talent development and infrastructure support to strengthen sports and recreation across South Africa. Honorable members, on the 16th of July 2024, we made a commitment in this House to promote healthy lifestyle and physical activity in line with the National Development Plan. Through Active Nation Program, we support the provision of mass participation opportunities in sports and recreation. I am pleased to announce that in the financial year 2025-2026, the department has budgeted 24 million for the construction of 30 community outdoor gyms and children's play parks in municipal open spaces. Our teams and athletes have set the sporting scene ablaze with their performances and achievements. We are proud of the achievements of Team South Africa that proudly hoisted our flag at the 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games in Paris, France. The brilliant team and individual performances by Akani Simbini, Bayanda Walaza, Drikas Duplessis, encapsulated the hashtag no DNA, just RSA phenomenon. Akani Simbini continues to dominate the international tracks, achieving extraordinary results. This shows what determination, discipline, and opportunity means. Once again, our heroines Banyana Banyana are hoisting our flag very high at the WAFCON. We congratulate the team for reaching the quarterfinal of the WAFCON tournament. We must condemn the treatment that the team faced with challenges of payments. We will not tolerate any wage disparities when it comes to our teams. Equal pay is non-negotiable, and we welcome the progress made in renewing the sponsorship for the team with Sasol, and we are inviting more sponsorship to support the team. Honorable members, we made a commitment to revive school sports. We believe that each child in school must be a child in sport. The Department of Sports, Arts and Culture and Basic Education have signed an MOU which addresses the challenges that prevent the establishment of well-coordinated and seamless sports, arts and culture programs as a critical factor in the development of young people of our country. I'm also pleased to announce that the department budgeted 53.5 million to support 208 school sports programs at the district level, enhancing school-based languages and competition, and a further 72 million to enable 5,000 learners to participate in the national sports schools champion. Honorable Chair, the promotion and development of arts and culture is crucial for heritage preservation, promoting diversity and social cohesion. For the 2025-2026 financial year, the cultural and creative industries development is allocated 32 million to facilitate access to local and international markets. The Mzansi Golden Economy strategy fosters job creation, economic transformation, and inclusivity. We aim to create 10,000 job opportunities through financially supporting 27 projects that facilitate local and international market access. We are creating opportunities and breaking the new international market. Amapiano is taking the world by storm. The historic triumph of the South Africa's dynamic DJ duo TXC at the 25 BET Award in Los Angeles marks not only a personal achievement, but a monumental step for the South African Amapiano music scene. They won the Best New International Act. Their sound, energy, and enthusiasm have resonated globally, providing that our culture and creativity know no doubts. The signing into law of the Copyrights Amendment Bill will ensure protection of copyrights for our artists. This is crucial for musicians as it protects their creative work and provides exclusive rights to control usage and distribution. We are engaging with various royalty collection organizations to ensure that our artists get what is fairly due to them in terms of their royalty collection. Honorable members, we also pay tribute to the incredible talent and dedication of Ms. Vanya Mangaliso, a true visionary in the world of fashion. Her designs have not only captivated audiences, but have also inspired a new generation of fashion enthusiasts. With every stitch, every cut, and every detail, she brought her unique perspective to life on the runway and beyond. As we chart the way forward, one of the key focus areas is the development and elevation of the design industry in South Africa. In recognition of this gap, we will be convening a national designer in Bizo, a strategic engagement platform that will bring together designers, innovators, academic institutions, industry leaders, and government stakeholders. This initiative forms part of a broader vision to position the creative industries at the center of South Africa's economic recovery, youth employment strategies, and global cultural perspective. Our World Heritage Sites will play a key role in hosting, educating, and entertaining our international guests this year as we host the G20 countries. The Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, working closely with the Department of Fisheries and Environment to ensure that World Heritage Sites are ready and are part of the program of the working groups of the G20 summit. On the 5th of July, 2025, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, through its Fantuka of Living Legends recognition series, hosted a landmark tribute concert in honor of the iconic Mama Abigail Kubeka, celebrating an extraordinary 68 years in honor of iconic Mama Abigail, celebrating an extraordinary 68-year career in South Africa's music, arts and cultural landscape. As we raise awareness of our musical heritage, it is essential to celebrate the living icons while they can still smell their flowers. Honorable members, we are all acutely aware of the financial constraints currently facing our country. The Mama Abigail Kubeka tribute concert demonstrated the profound impact that strategic partnership between the public and private sectors can have. Our resolve in dealing with GBVF remains unshaken. We will continue working with the Kholekani GBF awareness program, which is a crucial for addressing and preventing violence against women and girls. This, in conclusion, members, this budget fully supports inclusion of disabled athletes and artists. Honorable Chair and honorable members, I hereby support and put this budget to this honorable House for approval. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. The next speaker is the Honorable Meshu.
Mr. Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Minister, I firstly want to congratulate Banyana for beating Mali convincingly 4-0. And I want to concur with my colleague who said that Banyana has to be treated as Bafana. Because if we compare the two, Banyana definitely outclasses Bafana. That is why they have to be treated equally. And they have to be acknowledged and promoted. We want to see stadiums full of men. And I'm planning to be one of them to cheer our ladies who are doing exceptionally well. The 2025-26 budget for the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture reveals troubling stagnation in funding for Program 2, Recreation Development and Sport Promotion. While other programs see modest increases, Program 2 received a nominal decrease from 1.282 billion to 1.281 billion rands, an effective cut when adjusted for inflation. This underinvestment is concerning, given Program 2's pivotal role in grassroots sports, school sports, and club development, which are critical drivers of social cohesion. For many unemployed people, sport is a lifeline. It offers structure, identity, and skills that are transferable and bring hope in places where opportunities are scarce. This year marks 30 years since the iconic 1995 Rugby World Cup victory, when a new democratic South Africa united behind the Springboks to beat the All Blacks. That spirit endures in Amajita's historic Under-20 AFCON title, the Bok Women's 4th Rugby Cup triumph, the Proteas world title win against Australia in Test cricket, and Banyana on their way to the 18 million rands prize money defending their title in the 2025 Confederation of African Football Women's Cup of Nations in Morocco. Honorable Minister, recreation facilities, swimming pools, and more sporting fields are desperately needed, particularly in townships, where our young people are being drawn to drugs. I think focus has now to be shifted to the have-nots, rather than continue increasing finances for those who have and for those who are arrived. So, sporting
Honourable
facilities.
Meshu, your time has expired.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is the Honourable Ghana.
Mckenzie, honourable members, fellow South Africans, we can all agree that in the last 12 months, it has been a golden 12 months for South African sport. The Springboks continue to make us proud. Bafana are on the door of the FIFA World Cup. Amajita are the Under-20 AFCON champions. Banyana are charging into the women's AFCON quarterfinals. We are the Test cricket champions of the world, and our athletes are flying the flag on tracks across the globe. This is what South Africa looks like at its best, when talent, hard work, and national pride come together. But I rise this morning to sound the alarm on two issues that threaten to undermine this success. First is governance, Minister. While our athletes shine, the boardrooms are in disarray. SAFA, Boxing South Africa, Netball South Africa, Athletics South Africa are all riddled with internal politics, power plays, and mismanagement of funds. The young men and women who represent this country deserve excellence on and off the field. We cannot let this generation be failed by broken institutions. We need urgent reforms and credible leadership in our sporting bodies. The second, and most urgently, it is the issue of gambling, sports betting, and their sponsorship. Minister, I saw your video on the socials before we played Italy in Pretoria, where you were giving away Springbok tickets that were sponsored by Betway and FNB. I was disturbed, Minister. Not at you giving away tickets, but the soft advertising to sports betting. And let's be honest, intended or not, it was an advert for a gambling company. And that's a problem. Gambling addiction is real in our country. It is becoming a pandemic in our communities. Families are losing homes, children are going hungry, and lives are being destroyed. Betting companies are flooding poor communities with 24/7 adverts, promising riches they can't deliver. Even school children are getting addicted to gambling and sports betting. And we must draw a line. Responsible advertising is not optional, it is a moral obligation. Betting companies must not target vulnerable communities, and government leaders must not become brand ambassadors for gambling. We must demand transparency, no more secret sponsorship deals with SAFA or any other federation. If we can regulate tobacco and alcohol, we can regulate gambling advertising too. Let sport be a source of hope, not a gateway to gambling addiction. Let us govern sports better and give effect to the full
Honourable
portfolio
Member, your time
of
is
sports, arts, and
expired.
culture. Let's protect our people from exploitation. Mckenzie, I'm trying to.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Van Zyl.
Thank you, House Chairperson. The Department of Sports, Arts and Culture has one of the most powerful mandates in this government: to build social cohesion, create jobs, and empower young people in every community across South Africa. It is a department that touches identity, talent, and economic potential. Yet, when we turn to this budget, the picture is frustratingly mixed. On paper, 6.3 billion rand in 25-26, growing to 19.1 billion rand over the medium term, offers real potential. We welcome the projected creation of up to 38,000 jobs in the arts and creative industries. We also support the infrastructure rollout of 54 new libraries and 30 community gyms and play parks. These are the kinds of projects that reach to the grassroots young people in rural villages and township communities, especially women, artists, and local athletes who have long been shut out of opportunity. For many of them, this is not just about facilities, it is about dignity, hope, and a future that finally includes them. We support the department's equity focus, but support must be matched with scrutiny. We are deeply concerned about the decline in funding for the Mckenzie Golden Economy, dropping by 19.5% annually after this year. This program is the engine of job creation in the creative sector, and we cannot allow it to wither due to poor planning or shifting political priorities. Chairperson, over 80% of this department's budget is transferred to provinces and entities. That is about 5 billion rand in 25-26 alone. But what are we getting in return? How many libraries are built? How many jobs are verified? How many community arts programs sustained after one financial year? For every one of these unanswered questions, there's a young person left without opportunity, a community without hope, and a promise left empty. This is where oversight must be tightened. Parliament must ensure that this budget is properly used by the department, openly and transparently. Honourable Chairperson, we must also speak plainly about leadership. The Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Mr. Gayton Mckenzie, has a duty to lead with integrity, transparency and consistency. And yet he has repeatedly failed to attend portfolio committee meetings, at least 15 absences, including key hearings on his 90 million rand VAR rollout promise. His absence is not only weakens oversight, but also signals a disturbing pattern of disregard for parliamentary accountability, an essential pillar of democratic governance. We cannot afford a department that governs by a Twitter thread, while accountability to this House is ignored. Chairperson, the DA remains committed to communities we serve. We want a department that creates sustainable creative jobs, libraries that are opened, staffed, and accessible, sports facilities that are not ghost projects, and leadership that respects Parliament and the people. We support the intention of this budget, but we will continue to hold this department accountable until that intention becomes a delivery. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Moletsani.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Minister. Good morning, DM. Honourable members, DSEC staff, South Africa at large, especially Batuba Free State Hahulu, Metima Hulu, Zamdala Mokizwante. As you can see, I'm wearing the ABSA Marathon medal. I'm thrilled to have participated in ABSA Marathon in Durban. The series is a fantastic way to promote a healthy lifestyle, grassroots development, community engagement, and city exploration. Kudos to the organizers for putting such a fantastic event. Today, ANC rise to support Vote 37 and a substantial investment of 6.31 billion allocated to the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture for the 2025-26 financial year. This budget presents our unwavering commitment to using sports, arts and culture as powerful instrument for achieving the Government of National Unity's vision of promoting unity across racial, economic and geographic boundaries through targeted community programs, cultural celebrations and inclusive participation initiatives that foster shared national identity. The recreation development and sports promotion program stands as a cornerstone of our sporting excellence strategy, receiving a substantial allocation of 1.28 billion for 2025-26, representing 21.27% of the total of the department budget. This investment demonstrates our government unwavering commitment to developing sports as a powerful tool for social cohesion and nation building. Over the medium-term expenditure framework, this program shows our sustained commitment with projected increase to 1.36 billion in 2026-27 and 1.42 billion by 27-28. These allocations will support our three critical sub-programs, the Winning Nation initiatives with 240.7 million, the Active Nation program with 712.6 million, and infrastructure support with 327.9 million. This mass participation conditional grant exemplifies our commitment to inclusive development and economic growth. This grant shows a steady increase over the MTF period from 627.2 million in 25-26 to 656 million in 2026-27, reaching 685.7 million in 2027-28. This reflects continued commitment to economic growth through inclusive development programs that reach every corner of our nation. Honorable Chair, the grant distribution across provinces demonstrates our commitment to equitable development, from Gauteng receiving 120.3 million to the Northern Cape receiving 34.1 million, ensuring that no community is left behind in our sporting transformation agenda. The heritage promotion and preservation received the largest share of the department budget at 2.79 billion in 2025-26, growing to 3.05 billion in 2027-28. This substantial allocation demonstrates our government commitment to preserving South Africa's rich heritage as a foundation for nation building. Programs comprises critical areas including National Archive Services, 59.8 million, heritage institutions, 686.7 million, National Library Services, 164.8 million, and Public Library Services, 1.67 billion. These investments ensure that our historical record is preserved and accessible for future generations. Our commitment to school sports development is evident in our support for sports like the National School Sports Championship, which serves as a platform for young people to showcase their skills and align with our focus on education and skills development. The 2025 National School Sports Championships, including the Autumn Games held in Bloemfontein, demonstrate our commitment to providing opportunities for learners from all backgrounds to participate in organized sports. These championships foster nation building and social cohesion by bringing together learners from different races, diverse backgrounds, and social classes, giving life to the Memorandum of Understanding between Department of Basic Education. The budget reflects our commitment to consolidating the social wage through reliable, quality basic services. Community-based sports activities receive substantial funding through our mass participation program, with 627.2 million allocated to provinces for grassroots sports development. This investment in community-based activities promotes social cohesion by ensuring that sports become accessible to all South Africans, regardless of their socio-economic background. It is important to note that the budget includes significant allocation for capital works infrastructure development, with 175.5 million allocated for legacy projects in 2025-26. This investment in sports infrastructure aligns perfectly with the SONA 2025 announcement of 940 billion allocated for infrastructure investment over the next 3 years. Our capital transfers include oversight and support for sports infrastructure projects in municipalities, capital works for legacy projects, infrastructure for public entities, and upgrading of public spaces and community art centers. Moreover, Honorable Chair, the budget supports our commitment to using sports as a vehicle for promoting social cohesion, with funding for events like the Nelson Mandela Sports and Culture Day. This reflects our commitment to building a nation united in diversity and advancing social transformation. As Nelson Mandela himself said, I quote, "Sports has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does," unquote. Our budget allocation for international sporting events demonstrate the GNU commitments to building a better South Africa, a better Africa and world through international cooperation and showcasing South African excellence. South Africa's track record is successfully hosting major international sporting events from the 1995 Rugby World Cup to the 2010 FIFA World Cup demonstrate our capability to unite the nation and showcase our excellence on the global stage. Honorable members, heritage institutions and museums providing substantial support for heritage institutions, with 686.7 million allocated to heritage institutions for 2025-26. This includes funding for entities such as the Dizong Museum of South Africa, 119.7 million, Freedom Park, 116 million, Iziko Museum, 106.3 million, and Robben Island Museum, 93 million. These institutions serve as the custodians of our national memory and contribute to nation building by preserving and interpreting our diverse heritage for current and future generations. The allocation of 59.8 million for National Archives services supports the preservation of documentary heritage, reflecting the ANC commitment to preserving historical records as foundation for understanding our country's past and shaping its future. This investment ensures that our documentary heritage remains accessible to researchers, students, and public, contributing to our collective understanding of South Africa's journey. Community Library Services grant demonstrates our commitment to providing access to information and knowledge. The current allocation shows 1.39 billion for operational support in 2025-2026, increasing to 1.80 billion by 2027-2028. However, capital component decreases from 257.2 million in 2025-26 to 0 by 2027 and 28, as grants are being phased out in favor of provincial equitable shares. The South African Heritage Resources Agency plays a crucial role in protecting and managing our national heritage resources, ensuring that our built environment and cultural landscapes are preserved for future generations. When we address challenges moving forward, we want to say, while we celebrate this investment, we must acknowledge that transformation in sports and art still faces challenges. The budget represents our commitment to addressing these challenges through sustained investment and focused programs that promote inclusivity and excellence. Honorable Chairperson, this budget presents more than financial allocation. It represents our commitment to building a truly united, non-racial and prosperous South Africa. Through sports and arts and culture, we are not just entertaining our people, we are building the social fabric that will bind our nation together for generations to come. The substantial investment in the recreation development, sports promotion program, the commitment to heritage preservations, and the support for community-based program demonstrate that this government recognizes the transformative power of sports, arts, and culture in the building of South Africa we all inspire to create. We call upon all members of Parliament to support Vote 37 and join us in noble endeavor to use sports, arts, culture, and instruments of transformation to unity and national pride. Together we shall build a winning nation and celebrate the diversity while marching forward in one people. Minister, we support VAR in our soccer games. But let's mandate SAFA to go and find sponsors first. Then DSEC will come later to assist. Anyway, MK, we are not expecting anything from you. You always object anything that you see, but you fail to perform in a portfolio committee. Amandla!
Order, honourable members. Order, honourable members. Order, honourable members. I now recognize the honourable... Order, honourable members. I now recognize the Honourable Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture to reply to the debate. Honourable Member, you had your opportunity. We heard you. The Minister can now respond to what you said.
All right. Thank you so much, Honourable Chair. I would start with Honourable Meshu. I agree fully with you, Honourable Meshu, that it's an undeniable fact that Banyana Banyana should be paid the same as Bafana Bafana. And I will invite you to the next game to be my guest at the next Banyana Banyana game. I would then want to go to Honourable Van Zyl. Social cohesion is very important for this country. And it's true what you said that I didn't attend some of the portfolio committee meetings. There's no excuse for that. It's inexcusable, and I will do much better. You have my word. Honourable Ghana, I'll come back to you on that issue. I want Honourable Nkunu from MK. You know, money being sent back is a thing that's dead and buried. Money was sent back that time of the time of Ubaba. But now it's the time of Mckenzie. There's no money that will be sent back. Yeah. To Honourable Lutuli, you know, and I'm going to Nkandla next week to go and erect. We're going to do a combi court there. So I'm going to tell the people that you didn't vote for this combi court. You tried to prevent the combi court from being built. To Honourable Lutuli, you'll be very happy to hear that the rural areas is the main priority for us because it is a forgotten area. And we are going to focus on that mainly. Honourable Makato, thank you very much. I have learned from your words. It was indeed very, very, very wise words. You know, I want to go to Honourable Denner. Nasibou is die grootste ding waarmee ons te doen het as 'n nasie op die oomblik. Ons moet die nasie bou. Ons het nie 'n kans nie. Ons moenie skaam kry oor Afrikaans. Afrikaans is 'n baie mooi taal en is 'n regmatige taal en is 'n taal wat gepraat word deur baie van ons. Naamsveranderings moet gebeur, maar dit moet so gebeur dat niemand voel hulle word leed aangedoen as ons die name van die plekke verander. En diegene wat nie die gedeelte sing van die stem, hulle sal moet gepenaliseer word of gearresteer word. Want as jy dis naamskending, as jy nie die stem, nog nooit in die geskiedenis van enige land, het mense gekry wat nie hulle volkslied, die national anthem sing nie. Dit kan nie wees nie. 'n gedeelte, hulle moet tronk toegestuur word, die tronk wat hulle so van praat die hele dag. Hulle moet to Dr. Litlapa, I want to say to you, you know, your words are deep, they are true, and they are visionary. You have aptly spoke about what this department should or could and must be. And I want to thank you greatly for those words. I take heed of them. The responsibility is much bigger than what most people realize in this department. I want to just quickly go to two issues quickly, and so I can end with to Honourable Muletsani. Your knowledge of this department is blowing me away, and thank you for always supporting the grassroots sports. You are always at matches, very at netball. I really appreciate, and I appreciate your words today. To Honourable Mglua, you know, colored guys are seen as gangsters, and we have been named all sorts of names. The fact that you have a problem with Dr. Links, a colored man that has risen to become a doctor, I shudder to think what you would think of normal colored people. Lastly, I want to come to Honorable Mtetwa. Honorable Mtetwa, your problem is you are trying to fight through me battles that you've lost when you're in the creative sector. You have lost those battles and you are trying to fight. You speak about my son having gotten a team. My son took his money, private money from his businesses and his deals to buy a football team, while your child got a bursary, while you couldn't pay for your own child's bursary. So leave my son out of your mouth. Because we are not the same. Your children get free bursaries. Mine get nothing. Lastly, gambling departments.
Honourable Minister, will you just take your seat, please?
Oh.
What is the point of order, Honourable Member? You can switch on your microphone.
I don't think it's prudent to allow the Minister to speak about the Honourable Mtetwa's personal life here. It's unnecessary. If that's what we're going to degenerate to, we'll all be talking nonsense here. Please ignore that drunkard over there. Ignore that drunkard.
Honourable members, you see, take a seat, Minister. That's why we must be careful in our debating when we draw relatives into debates, because there will be a response. And the Minister is now responding to that. So let us, honourable members, be very, very careful. Let us debate with one another, about one another and our parties, but leave our children out of it. That can be done on a different platform. Honourable Minister.
Thank you so much. Lastly, the quick one, Honourable Ghana. We must sometimes be honest. PSL is the best run league in the whole Africa. What Dr. Khoza has done is phenomenal, but he couldn't have done that without gambling sponsorship. And what I'm trying to do as a minister, I'm trying to bring corporates back into sponsoring. We must be honest as leaders. We are the lawmakers. We need to make laws regarding gambling. But at the moment, I can tell already I will support gambling companies putting money into sport because
Minister,
I am a witness
your time is
to the
now
change.
expired.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honourable members, you are reminded that debate on Vote 2 Parliament will take place in the Globe Chamber at 2 o'clock today in a hybrid plenary. That concludes the debate and the business of this mini plenary session, and the mini plenary will now rise.